Welcome to Out for the Count TV. We're delighted to be once again joined by the IBF European champion and the new WBA Intercontinental Lightweight champion, Mark Chamberlain. Mark, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, thanks. All good. Just getting back to reality, being back in the country. Yeah, it's good. All good.
Yeah, yeah. It's been nearly 2 weeks since the fight now. How are you feeling now? All the dust has settled.
Yeah, it's good, really, because like you go from I was explaining it before to someone, like you go from being an all-time high to then getting on the plane, coming home, and then you're back to normal. It's weird. Like you can see why these people go up and down really quick with their not the mental health, but just like being on top of the world to then bang, 24 hours later being back on like back to normal life. It's hard to explain until you've experienced it.
Yeah, yeah. That was going to be one of my questions. Like, what is the come down like? When you're the star of the show out in Saudi, and then you come home and back to your day to day life. Taking bins out and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just like I say, it's hard to explain, but like you go from a big build up to a fight, all the training, and then you get to like the venue and everything, and then it's like bang, it's here. I'm about to get the job done, like get in there and do what I got to do, and then you have your fight, and then you're on top of the world, and then you have your photos, all your media stuff, and then within I think I left the venue at like 4 in the morning, and then I was on a flight by like 9:40, I think 10:40, like on my way home. It was just like it's just weird and hard to explain.
Yeah, and since you've been back, have you been getting a lot more recognition out in the street and whatnot?
Yeah, yeah. Funny enough, I was visiting my uncle earlier with the belts, and there's a bakery opposite, and they've obviously seen me quickly coming out, and they come running over. Mark, would you mind coming over here and having a photo with us? But it's been crazy, so it's good though. It's all recognition, and hopefully when I fight back in London again, it's a few more like tickets to be sold as well. So it's all good, and got
Yeah,
time for anyone that wants to have photos and chats and that. I mean, as long as I'm not busy, I've got all the time in the world for anyone.
yeah, yeah. That's what it's about, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It builds your profile even more, doesn't it? Really?
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. And I saw on Instagram that a few days after the fight, you went to go and see a big fan of yours who's he's in a care home and whatnot. How did all that come about, and how happy was he to see his favorite fighter?
Yeah, Michael. I believe he's a diehard boxing fan. Has been since he was a kid. Going off of what he said. Tell you what, he knows an awful lot about boxing. And I think it all come about. Girl I went to school with, Jemima. She works in the care home, and I believe that he has the boxing on all the time. And somewhere along the line, I think my name got brought up. Might have been when I was fighting, and he said, "Oh, I like this Chamberlain. He's from round here, isn't he?" And I think she turned around and said, "Well, do you want to know something? I went to school with him." And I didn't think he believed it as such. And she messaged me asking if I would, I think it was do a video or something for him. And I just said, "Look, you're only down the road. I'll pop in and come and see him." So yeah, I spent about half hour with him. Went down, see him, had a chat, talking about his life, my career, and signed a program he had from my fight before. Had a few photos and that with him, and yeah, made his day. Hopefully, do you know what I mean? Like things like that go a long way, and I don't mind doing things like that. So it's all good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said to you before the interview, credit to you for doing something like that. It was good to see.
Yeah, no, like I say, I mean, I've got time for things like that. Anyone, I mean, it's part of the journey, I suppose. Giving back, I suppose. If people are willing to sit there and watch you or buy the channel to watch you, that's the least I can do in return. Do you know what I mean? I'm grateful to do things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So let's just take it to the actual fight week. It felt like every single day was a big event. Starting from the grand arrivals right up to fight night. Talk us through what it was like for a fighter out there.
Crazy. Literally from the minute we touched down and got off the plane, you was just treated like royalty. Like got off the plane, there's someone stood there with a fancy board with my whole team's names on it. We then got like walked through VIP security bit, um, sat in a room, had a tea and that, and then our bags got brought to us. We got took on this like golf cart thing all around the airport. It was just crazy, like just being involved in a big event like that, and the whole fight week, the build up from Monday onwards, there was something every evening. So it was good, really, an experience to not forget.
Yeah, and like in terms of the press conferences, obviously you've done plenty of press conferences in the past. This one, you had entrance music coming to the press
Mhm.
conference. How did it feel, to other ones that you've done in the past?
It's crazy. Like out in Saudi Arabia, they just don't cut no corners. Like you say, the music they introduce you like they do in the ring, walking out to your press conference, your weigh in, your public workout, and then being sat up on the stage. You got Eddie Hearn was like a person down from me. Then you had Frank Warren, and then all the fighters. It's crazy to be involved with people of that magnitude as such. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine. And fight aside, with the magnitude of the event, was there any nerves with that?
No, I wouldn't say nerves because obviously every fighter gets nerves. Like whoever says they don't, I think they're probably lying because there's always something there. Do you know what I mean? Some people handle it better than others, but no, it was a big bit of pressure because obviously His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh wanted me out there specifically, so there was that added pressure. But I try not to let the pressure get to me because some people just fold, don't they? So I just sort of try to treat it as a normal. I just looked at it as like it's another sparring session, but just more people watching. That's the way I
Yeah,
look.
yeah, and that
It's crazy.
yeah, and that brings us up to the actual fight itself. You probably couldn't have give a better account of yourself really in that fight. Just talk us through the fight from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, we knew Gwyn is a tough man, but I said in interviews, not just with you, but other people, that I believe I'm the stronger man, the younger one, and the hungrier one out of the two. And I said it all week. And I mean, I take my hat off to him. He's a tough, tough man, and he probably would have held in there until he couldn't. Like, literally, probably would have tried to do the 10 rounds, but you've got to know your own safety and you can't be too strong for your own good. So I think it was a good call, his corner chucking the towel in, the ref jumping in. But I'm not sure if you see, but Gwyn, like I say, he's a great fighter, but he's there to be hit, and he only knows one way of coming, like fighting, and that's coming forward. And you can't keep coming forward if someone's constantly bang, bang, bang in your face. And it proved that on the night. I mean, I don't know if you see in the public workout, but we was like doing the jab, step back, uppercut, and that's literally the uppercut was the shot that shattered his eye socket. So it's
Yeah,
a freak injury to happen in the first round, but it's boxing, I suppose. And I knew I had to hurt him early, or we'd have just been going like that toe to toe for 10 rounds. But that's what we prepared for.
yeah. And I know how confident you are in your own ability, but did you think you'd have made it, look as easy as you did beforehand?
No, definitely not. I mean, I've watched it a few times now. There's a few things I think looking at it I could have done differently or better, but overall I was happy with what we done because from the minute the fight got put to us, I knew that I have to give absolutely everything and can't afford to make any mistakes like I have in my fight before, i.e., backing up, going on the ropes and that. So yeah, I knew that I couldn't afford to do that in this fight. So I just had to change things up, work on a few things in the gym, and then put it all together on the night, and we got it done.
Yeah. And obviously credit to Gavin Gwynn. He's been a good servant to the sport for many years now. Have you
Yeah.
managed to speak to him after the fight?
Yeah, we had a little laugh after the fight and that. I mean, he's a nice fella. But yeah, I mean, I respect anyone that gets in the gym, in the ring, sorry, and has to go because I know as a fighter what it takes and the stress you put your body through in training. And yes, it makes it all worth it in the end. And there's no need for any bad blood, I suppose. Afterwards, you get in there, you have a fight, you beat each other up, you shake hands. That's it.
Yeah,
So yeah, and that was good.
yeah, yeah. Well, wish you well moving forward. obviously it's no secret that you were Turki Al Sheikh's like favorite fighter out there. What was his
Yeah.
reaction to the fight?
Yeah, I think he was out the back watching it because he kept like coming in, going out. But yeah, he was over the moon. He's given me the green light to go back. So I'm praying that they can deliver and keep me on these big platforms, really.
Yeah, and speaking of going back, just before we come on, you announced on Instagram that you've just been given a date. When can
Mhm.
we expect to see you back in the ring?
Sooner than expected. Just keep an eye out on the social medias. I had the phone call today. It's not 100% done yet, but we're 95% there with a fixed date. So yeah, I mean, I'm always active in the gym. Um, so yeah, I'm ready for whatever they want to put towards me. I mean, activeness is the best thing because if you have too much of a layoff in between fights, I wouldn't say you go stale, but you don't want to have too long out the gym, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I've been back in the gym, been punching. I actually go on holiday Saturday, and then it's all guns blazing when I'm back. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, activity is key in this game, and it's good to see you back in the gym so soon after the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually running on the Monday or the Tuesday morning. Literally, I come
Right.
back Saturday afternoon, evening. Monday, I was back in the gym, or Tuesday running. Like, I just can't stay away. I should have probably had a week out the gym, but I just can't.
Yeah,
Can't help
yeah.
myself.
Yeah, and obviously with this date that's coming up, has there been any talk of any opponents yet, or is that still sort of in the works?
No, that there is no names as such yet. I mean, I only got the phone call today, and they just said, "Look, we're going to look at some opponents." So chances are, I'm going to go on holiday now. Still do a bit of training out there, tick over and that, and then hopefully when I come back next Monday, we'll have a few names or a name put towards us, and no doubt Frank will deliver for me.
Yeah, well, I look forward to finding out who it's going to be and when it's going to be. Um,
Yes.
as, yes, as for the rest of the card out in Saudi, there was some big performances that night. Most notably, obviously, AJ's knockout over Ngannou. Um, what did you make of that fight while it lasted? And do you think we'll see Ngannou back in the ring again?
I think you will. I'll be honest with you, my predictions for that fight, I thought AJ was going to stop him but not knock him out. And honestly, I was probably 25, 30 foot from the ring. And the power, honestly, it's unbelievable what a person can produce. But no, I'd take my hat off to him. He got the job done in style, didn't he?
Definitely. It's good to see him, back where he was a few years ago. It seems like his confidence is riding high.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's think since he's moved with Ben Davison, he's had a good couple of performances now, and yeah, he's just push on and big fights and big money to be made for him. And well, he's made a fortune anyway, ain't he? But it's only going to
Yeah,
get better from now.
definitely. And you just mentioned you were 30 foot away from the ring. One thing that gets spoken about a lot about the cards in Saudi is the atmosphere. How did you find the atmosphere out there?
Do,
Sorry.
do you know what? It's different to like if you had AJ fighting at O2 or Wembley. Like the English people, they love a cheer and a scream. It's not dead silent there, but the minute someone gets dropped or knocked out, they come alive. But they just like
Yeah.
violence, I guess. But yeah, it's like different atmosphere, but it's not like people explain it like they think it's silent. It is fairly noisy, but that it's not the same as if you was at Wembley, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And another one of the fights that obviously Parker versus Zhang turned out to be a great fight. Parker,
Yeah,
I think he was down in the third and the eighth, I think.
yeah,
But he managed to stick to his game plan and get the win. How impressed were you by his performance and the progress that he's made under Andy Lee?
yeah. Very good. I mean, I haven't actually spoke to him personally, said hello and that, but going off of like conversations I've heard that he's a really nice family man and he's had a good few like back-to-back wins and do you know what I mean? He's now put himself in a good position. I think he's got a rematch with Zhang. Yeah, he's had a good couple of back-to-back wins, and obviously setting his family's future up. So you got to respect and take your hat off to someone like that because he's providing for his family at the end of the day.
Yeah, and there was a time when people wrote him off, and now he's thrown himself right back into the mix. He's arguably the third best heavyweight at the minute.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you see what he done to Wilder. He took him apart, didn't he? So, I mean,
Yeah,
Zhang's a very, very strong man, and if he catches anyone, he's going to put him over. But Joseph Parker was the fitter man and the better man on the night. I think after like 5 or 6 rounds, Zhang was blowing. So Parker
yeah,
just had to do what he done and got the win and moving on, I suppose. Providing he wins again, he set himself up for something big again.
yeah,
So
yeah. And in terms of Zhang, like obviously, he's at a good age, now, and like a term that always gets thrown about is old overnight. Do you think it's a case of that with Zhang, or do you think it was just a bad performance?
how old is he? He's 40 now, isn't he? 40, 41.
Yeah, I think it's about that. Yeah,
He looked, I wouldn't say he looked fat, but he looked a bit more flabby this fight than he did when he fought Joe Joyce. Who knows? I mean, he's a great fighter, isn't he? I think his only loss was to Philip Hergovich, wasn't it?
exactly. And he's not a bad opponent to lose
Uh,
to.
no, I mean he's. I wouldn't want to take a right hand or a left hand off him. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a nice guy, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and obviously it would not be a boxing event if there weren't some sort of controversy. Obviously Nick Ball ended up getting a split decision draw against his opponent that night. What do you think of that
No,
decision?
I felt for Nick that night because he might have lost the first 3 or 4 rounds, but after that, he punched him all around the ring, and every time he got him on the ropes and laid into him, the ref split him up. And there was a couple
Yeah,
of shots that should have been 8 counts, and they never got counted. So yeah, I mean, I hope they look after Nick and give him another world title opportunity out there and pay him well because he deserves it. So
yeah,
or get a rematch. I'm pretty sure the WBC will call for a rematch.
yeah.
But
I mean, as a viewer, it was hard to see it be scored a draw because it felt like his opponent was on his back foot,
yeah,
back pedaling.
I think he won it. Not even a split decision. I think he won the fight. He lost the first 3 or 4, I say, and then he got into it. And after that, I think it wasn't easy, but he got through them and he won the rounds quite convincingly.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed he'll come again. And like you said, they look after
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, they should do.
brilliant. Well, yeah, that's all questions I've got for you, Mark. Obviously, again, thank you for your time, and
No problem.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully we'll catch you, for the next one. Just before you go, can we have a little look at that little belt that you've got with you?
Yeah, yeah. Can I turn the camera around, or can I just?
Uh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
That'll hold your jeans up.
yeah. I've been carrying it around all week to everyone, sponsors and everything. But no, it's
Nice,
a
nice.
nice belt, and who knows what's next? There could be another one on the line, or I mean, I just need to keep winning, I guess.
That's
So
it. That's it. Whatever you're doing, it's working.
yes, definitely.
Top man. Well, yeah. Thank you for your time, Mark, and we'll catch you on the next one.
No worries. Cheers, mate.